Today's the girls' birthday. They are 26 years old. I have no clue how I got old enough to have daughters 26 years old. It makes me feel old to think about it, but I don't feel old. I still feel young, but I feel like kind of like when seems like just yesterday I was 26. Now I have 26-year-olds. So I'm going to make supper for them and for Nick and for Austin and of course for me and Matt. So I asked the girls what kind of cake or dessert kind of thing they wanted. Katie wanted a pumpkin roll, so I'm going to do a pumpkin roll. Corey wanted chess cake, so I'm going to do a chess cake. Both are really simple, easy recipes. So as far as the cake part, I've got that took care of. Then I started thinking about what else could I have just that was kind of special, but that wouldn't require too much work from me. So we have 2 jars left of the deer meat that we can every year. So we're gonna have deer meat. That'll be our main star of the meal for sure. We love the deer meat, and I'll show you how we fix it, which is really just basically simple. Basically just warming it up is all we do. Our rattlesnake green beans are still coming in, so I'm going to pick some of them. I'm going to go out and pick some of them. Corey really loves them roasted, and Katie does too, so I hope I can find some young tender ones that we can roast, so we'll have those. I have some new potatoes that we dug, so I'm going to fix some new potatoes to go with it. And that's a pretty good meal. I'll have to think about the bread, whether I want to make biscuits or cornbread. I guess I should ask their opinion on that. And then I might think of something else to go with it, but I think that'll be pretty much a birthday feast. So the main thing I want to do this morning is I want to go ahead and get the desserts fixed and get those out of the way. Of course, the pumpkin roll needs to chill in the refrigerator, and the chess cake will be fine. It doesn't need to be served hot. It's good hot or cold. So I want to go ahead and get those out of the way. If you watch my videos, you'll know that earlier in the summer we had one of our freezers die. Well, that was the freezer that had my pumpkin in it, so I have no pumpkin for the pumpkin roll. But I did have some extra butternut squash left from last year. That's how well winter squash lasts. If you're a gardener and you want to grow something that's really shelf stable, I recommend winter squashes. They are just amazing to last that long. Of course, sometimes you'll have the odd one that doesn't last that long, but overall they are very shelf stable. So when I first got up this morning, I went ahead and cut 2 of my butternuts from last year and roasted them off in the oven, so I have that already ready now so that I can use that for the pumpkin roll. It will still taste great. That's another good thing about winter squashes, whether it's a cushaw, a pumpkin, or a butternut, or a candy roaster. Love candy roasters. None of my candy roasters made this year. I don't have one candy roaster. Anyway, they can all kind of be interchanged, whether it's a dessert recipe like a pie or the pumpkin roll or a cake, or whether it's a savory dish. I do have a video on making a pumpkin roll and making a chess cake, so I will link to both of those. Both really easy desserts to make, but really tasty. Of course, you can tell that's what the girls ask for. The chess cake takes a boxed mix is how you start with it, and I did not have one, so I went, one of the times like this is when I'm so thankful I live near Granny, so I went to Granny's and I got one. I knew she would have one in her pantry, so I borrowed one from her. But you could also, if you wanted to, make your own. If you're somebody that makes your cakes like that, like a basic cake recipe from scratch, that would work too. So both recipes call for cream cheese, 8 ounces of cream cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and open them up and let them be coming to room temperature. I should have already had them out, but that's okay. Both recipes that I'm using today comes from, I've made them for so many years, I should know them by heart. And you can tell by the pages that are really crinkly and dirty when you really love a cookbook. So this was a cookbook from Martins Creek School. It's from many years ago. It's out of print. You can't find it anymore. But I've had it for years, and it is people in my community, a lot of the people. So actually the pumpkin roll was by, let's see, Sheila and Corey Cook, and then the other one, which I call chess cake, in here it's called the Plaza cake, I think. Let's see if I can find it. I just need to go the other way. Oh no, it's in here. It is called chess cake. I was thinking it was Park Plaza or something, but it's Chewy Bar Cookies, chess cake in parentheses. So that's what we've always called it, it's chess cake. But it was Nancy Truitt. But those are both really common recipes in my area. Lots of people make them. But that was who submitted them all those years ago for this cookbook. But I'm going to start with the pumpkin roll. Okay, I've got all my dry ingredients for the pumpkin roll together. I'm just going to mix them up a little bit. Pumpkin rolls is one of those desserts that looks really impressive, but it's really simple to make, and I like it. I like desserts that I don't have to necessarily pull out the mixer for. So that's all my dry ingredients there. And I'm gonna do my eggs a little bit. Add them. Now I need 2/3 of a cup of pumpkin, but again I'm going to use my butternut squash that I roasted up this morning. And then I'll have a little bit left over to put in the freezer for the next one. Looks like I'd have enough for another pumpkin roll. I like to freeze them in portions that I'll use. So either the 2/3 cup for the pumpkin roll or 2 cups for pies. Now I just need to mix it all together. Okay. I like to use parchment paper when I can, just because I'm lazy and I don't like to grease the pan. Plus, for something like this, it really helps it come out better. Okay, now ready to put it in the oven. Okay, now I'm ready to start on the chess cake. So I've got my cake mix in, and I'm just going to add my butter here. Let it mix for just a few minutes. My egg. Okay, now I'm ready to do the second part of the chess cake. So I'm going to let my cream cheese mix for a minute. I'm going to add my 2 eggs, which I see I put a shell in. I need to get that out. Now I'm going to add the powdered sugar. So now I need to get the pumpkin roll out of the pan and wrap it up so that it can be cooling in the fridge. Usually I use foil, but I think I'm going to try using a tea towel. Of course the recipe says that you can, and then I don't know how the best way to do this would be. When I did my video about it, a lot of people said, oh, the tea towel does work way better, Tipper. So we're going to try that and see. Okay, I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it cool for at least a couple of hours. I think I better put it back on a tray though. There. Now that I've got the chess cake out, I'm going to go pick my beans. So I see a lot of beans. They really do need to be picked. I wanted to pick them yesterday and it just didn't happen. But hopefully I can pick enough so that we have some for some that are still young and tender so that I can roast them. Some of the big ones, I've not made any leather breeches this year, so I might do that with the larger ones. So I didn't get them all picked, but I'm going to have to quit because it started raining on me. But you can see I got plenty for supper. I've got both my apron pockets full too. I'll come back out and get the others maybe tomorrow. I'm really glad for the rain though, really happy about it because we've been terribly dry. So this little bit of rain, maybe it'll rain more than this, will really be great on our fall garden. Get the ones out of my apron pocket, so I ended up with quite a few. Plenty, like I said, for supper. I'll go through and find kind of the young tender ones like that to actually roast, and then maybe I'll make some leather breeches with the rest of them. Really pretty beans though, and we've never had beans like this late in the season, so I'm so excited about that. And closer to time to eat, so I'm going to go ahead and put the filling in the pumpkin roll. So this is some of the potatoes that we grew this year. So I'm just going to give them a quick rinse, put them in some boiling water, and cook them for a little bit. And then I'm going to finish cooking them in the oven. I'm going to roast them in the oven. Actually, if you get me a little brush, might work better. I'm going to add some salt, put them on pretty high, and just let them boil for just a minute, and then I'm going to put them in the oven. So this is a jar of the deer meat we're going to have tonight for the birthday dinner. It was actually canned in 2020, so it's a couple of years old, but you can still see it looks really great. And we don't put, I have a video about canning deer meat, so I will link to that, but we don't put any liquid in it, so that liquid is what come out of the meat. And you can see just a tiny bit of fat here and there floating around, but deer meat is very lean. It doesn't have much fat. So the most common way that you can hear the seal pop. The most common way that we would actually use this meat that we can like this is you could literally just eat it out of the jar if you want to, but we just warm it through. Usually I do it in a frying pan on top of the stove. Today I'm just so that it'll kind of be going on its own and I can be doing other stuff. I'm going to put it in the crock pot. And this jar, you see, had a little bit more fat in it for whatever reason. It smells so good. You could add other stuff to it. You could we've made soup out of it, but generally we just warm it up and eat it. It is so good. We have before. Matt does this usually, not me. If you drain that liquid off and then kind of let it get dry, let the meat get dry, you can lightly bread it and fry it. That's good too, but typically we just warm it up. Okay, they've been cooking. I let them cook for about 10 minutes. I like to kind of scrape a little bit on the outside of them. My favorite part is the skin is so tender when they're this, like with new potatoes. And once you scrape up the skin just a little bit like that's perfect. That just gives little more crunchy parts as you then put them in the oven to roast. So you don't have to be real picky about it. Just kind of help them get started, kind of peeling. Some of them are already like that as you cook. Of course they're hot. You got to be careful with that. I did cut some of the larger ones in half, so I'm not going to do anything to those because they're kind of getting done already. And a lot of the skin, as you boil them, will do that anyway. It'll kind of begin to peel up in those little places. And kind of help it along a little bit. Ooh, that one was... Could use probably put a mitt on and do a better job, but I've cooked for so long. Usually I can stand things pretty hot. These little tiny ones will be good too. Now I've got some butter, so I'm going to pour some butter all over them. I'll toss it around, and then I'm going to give them just a little bit of olive oil too. Just use my big spoon I had. Just a little bit more oil on the pan. And just spread them out. You could season them with whatever you like. I'm going to season them with salt and pepper is all I'm going to use, but you could use oregano would be great, garlic powder I'm sure would be wonderful, thyme would probably be good. And then I have the oven set on 425, and I'm going to cook them for about 45 minutes. I'll just keep an eye on them, but usually about 45 minutes. And then during that time I'll probably take my big spoon and stir them around once or twice just to make sure that crunchiness gets all over.
I'm going to drop this plate on out of here.
Wait a minute, I'm going to watch you.
It's my birthday. I can be as ugly as I want.
You're not ugly, Katie. I said you look like you've been asleep. Your face is red. All right, shh. Ready?
Silence on set!
Okay, the birthday meal's finally ready, and we're going to let the girls get them something to eat if they can quit being silly long enough to
serve me my food.
We've got the roasted green beans, which look great.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Corey's already been eating them.
These are so good. I'll make sure everybody has enough of these. Yeah, I don't know, that might have been too much.
It's okay.
I'm going to make sure there's enough for everybody else. It's a biscuit, Corey.
Biscuits. We got deer meat in here for you. Don't that look good?
Oh, yeah. Slosh it out. Easy.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't trying to. I'm sorry. I gotta get the liquid off. If it runs into other stuff on my plate, I'm not gonna like that. Corey's like, just with it. Still doing it, too. I gotta get the liquid off. I don't want this biscuit soaked. Well, that's okay. That's alright. I don't want my biscuit soaked either, but I'm just a little bit easier.
We got new potatoes out of the garden.
These potatoes look awesome.
Oh, they are. I've done tried them. They're good.
Oh my gosh, they look like just little nuggets of perfection.
They are.
Okay,
and we've got some pickled beans and corn. You may not want any of that, and some jelly for the biscuit.
But I gotta come over here now and cut my biscuit. All right, hold on. I'll hold your plate.
All right.
Or you can just cut my biscuit here. Okay. Teamwork. Oh, you got me. Okay, you hold my biscuit and I'll cut it, or whatever. However you want to do it. Oh, you got me. Okay, now I need some butter. Because if you've been on these channels, you know more butter is more better. And that's just how it is. Lord, I can't do this one-handed right now. Yes, I am going to put that much butter on this biscuit.
Well, it's your birthday, right?
Alright, here, hold on. Your sister's going to help you out here. I'm going to show you a little butter trick that I learned. Oh, that was hot and I touched it. Let me see this. Ooh, it's spreading. Okay, well, that's okay. Okay. I'll show you how I'm going to do it on mine. This is how I'm going to do. I'm going to go thin across it, and it gets it kind of, it's thinner and whipped easier, and it'll spread better like that. See? Okay. It's already, boom, spread.
And some blackberry jelly.
Oh, man, you pulled out all the stops on this. I never knew to do butter like this until I saw Dawn and Michael do it.
Yeah.
And then one time I saw Nick do it. And I thought, well, my lord, everybody in the world's been scraping light pats of butter like that forever. And I just didn't know that you
I
did
didn't
eat
know.
that.
All right. That is my plate. I'm going to eat now. Thank you very much.
And you'll have to come back for dessert.
Yes.
I was a little too rough with my biscuit, but that's okay.
Some potatoes.
I get some potatoes. Were these some of the ones that no, these weren't the ones I dug.
No, but they were ones we grew.
I got so excited when it was time to do potatoes. And I do like pickled beans and corn, so I'm gonna get some.
Papa Tony's pickled beans and corn is the best. He knows how to make it, don't he, Katie?
He does, that's right. I like sour, wangy, fermented pickled stuff. Yes, I do. Yay! Thank you. Okay.
Told you Matt would do that.
Okay.
Okay, everybody's eating. Everybody's got their bellies full. Good food, girls?
Yes, so good.
Food. So now we're ready for the desserts. So, Katie,
It's mine. Nobody gets any.
which you want one of each or just the...
Load me up. One of each, please.
Here's your...
Pumpy roll.
Actually, it's a butternut roll.
Scratch roll.
Yeah.
She lost
'Cause
all
I
her.
lost all the pumpkin in the freezer when the freezer went out. There's the cheesecake. Okay, Corey.
Gimme. I want this. Can I get this with my fingers?
I don't care.
Okay.
All right. So
Oh.
we'll have to serve everybody else.
I'm not serving anyone. I'm saving this all for me. Back off, everybody.
All right. Have y'all had a good birthday?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Have a good birthday. Thank you.
All right. We hope you drop back by often. Help us celebrate Appalachia and birthdays, right?
Happy birthday to me. Bye.